Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the 134th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for World Peace for Tuesday, September 8th, 2020. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Educational Department and part of the private teachings, the public teachings in English. My name's Rick Crammond. I'll be a host today along with Doug and Mark. And I believe we're ready to go with the Universal Council presenting today's workshop. Do we have a representative of the Universal Council today?
Yes.
That's a familiar voice. Hi, Mashfaq.
Hi. So as soon as you have the slides up, I can start.
Sorry, which slides was that? From the German or?
No, just the beginning slide. And I think I just start with our wish, and then either Caroline, if she's available, or Marie will take over and talk about the Linz workshop.
Okay, let me see if I can put that up here.
But if you don't have the slides, I can start still.
I just have to find the correct. So the one from the 1st of September should work, correct?
Yeah, I think the first slide is the same.
Okay,
So
that up.
it goes with the title, One Planet, One Nation, One Race for World Peace. And this is Mosfek, representing Bengali language, just starting the proceedings. And the wish that we have is, through the beauty of the soul, of diversity of languages spoken on planet Earth, all souls are as equal and all are as creators as they are created in the image of the Creator. Okay, so I think it would be Marie. I don't see Caroline yet. So Marie, go ahead.
Yes, let's go to the next slide. Hello, this is Marie. I am a Universal Council representative for the Norwegian language. This slide is about the exhibition that is ongoing in Austria, in Linz, a place called Linz. And in this exhibition, there are, so it's a scientific exhibition. And one of the items there is the Universal Body Enhancement Unit. And by clicking that link on the screen there, Rick, we show you where you can buy tickets. That is on the Keshe Foundation site in the store. You might not need to click that link. Okay, we're here. So here's the place where you can buy entry tickets. If you're not an Austrian, because then you don't need to buy a ticket. Okay, can you go back to the next to the slide, please? Okay, so let's go to the next slide. And the next one. Okay, this is not the right presentation. Okay. How come, Rick? But anyway.
I don't have one for today. I don't think anyone sent one to me.
I sent it to you earlier today.
Well, I have the Norwegian one. Is that what you mean?
The 8th of September with the Mr. Keshe and the video. Didn't you see that?
Oh, I see it there now. It's I only got the other one. Okay.
Well, it's very similar. It's very similar, but let's just keep this one. And there is a letter that I sent you in German, but I wonder if someone could read it in German. It's an invitation letter that the Universal Council, together with the Universal Council supporters, have created for the Austrian citizens. It's an invitation to all Austrian citizens to join this exhibition, and it's free for all Austrians. So we have worked out this invitation, and we are mailing it out to all addresses we can get. If there is no one volunteering, I could read it. I spoke German in the 90s. So in the absence of Caroline, if no one volunteers, someone native speaking German volunteers to read this letter, I can read it in my German that I learned in Switzerland in the 90s. Nobody volunteers?
I guess you're it.
Okay, so I do it. Ein Planet, eine Nation, eine Rasse. September 2020. Einladung. Sehr geehrte Österreicherinnen und Österreicher. Wir, der Universalrat, laden im Namen der Keshe Foundation alle Österreicherinnen und Österreicher ein, an der wissenschaftlichen Ausstellung teilzunehmen, welche ab 3. September 2020 in Linz stattfindet. Die Keshe Foundation ist eine weltweite wissenschaftliche Organisation, deren Hauptziel es ist, alle Aspekte der von Mehran Tavakoli Keshe gegründeten Keshe-Plasma Wissenschaft und Technologien umzusetzen. Dies beinhaltet das grundlegende Verständnis in den verschiedenen Bereichen wie Gesundheit, Landwirtschaft, Umwelt, Energie und Materialien mittels Anwendung der Weltraumtechnologie. Durch die Anwendung der neuen Plasmatechnologie senken wir die Kosten für Gesundheit und machen sie für alle Einwohnerinnen und Einwohner zugänglich und erschwinglich. Außerdem sorgen wir für nationale Ernährungssicherheit, indem wir in neue Methoden für die Landwirtschaft investieren und die Ernten steigern. Wir sorgen dafür, dass das Land und die Luft, unsere Umwelt gesäubert werden kann, und wir unterstützen die Entwicklung der Energieversorgung, um jede Nation autark zu machen. Die Investitionen für den Bau von Industriezonen, zugeschnitten auf die Bedürfnisse ihres Landes, werden zu 100% von der Keshe Foundation Manufacturing gestellt, die für Forschung und Entwicklung, Produkte, Technologien, Arbeitsplätze und Ausbildung sorgt. Die Industriezonen sind einfache Mittel, um eine Ära für die Fülle ihrer Nationen herbeizuführen.
Excuse me, Marie.
Yeah.
Would you like Caroline to take over? She's here now.
Yes, please.
Caroline, can you, not sure where we're at here.
Maybe you have to read the whole thing again.
Hello, everyone. Sorry for being late. There's a lot to do, which is good. If you like to, I can read again, or I continue.
Sure.
Marie was reading as you like.
I think you should start again, please.
Okay. Thank you, Marie. Sehr geehrte Österreicherinnen und Österreicher. Im Frieden vereint, ein Planet, eine Nation, eine Rasse. Einladung. 1. September 2020. Sehr geehrte Österreicherinnen und Österreicher. Wir, der Universalrat, laden im Namen der Keshe Foundation alle Österreicherinnen und Österreicher ein, an der wissenschaftlichen Ausstellung teilzunehmen, welche ab 3. September 2020 in Linz stattfindet. Die Keshe Foundation ist eine weltweite wissenschaftliche Organisation, deren Hauptziel es ist, alle Aspekte der von Mehran Tavakoli Keshe gegründeten Keshe-Plasma-Wissenschaft und Technologien umzusetzen. Dies beinhaltet das grundlegende Verständnis in den verschiedenen Bereichen wie Gesundheit, Landwirtschaft, Umwelt, Energie und Materialien mittels Anwendung der Weltraumtechnologie. Here on this picture, you can see the Universal Body Enhancement Unit. Die Universal Body Enhancement Unit ist zum ersten Mal auf der Ausstellung zu sehen. Durch die Anwendung der neuen Plasmatechnologie senken wir die Kosten für Gesundheit und machen sie für alle Einwohnerinnen und Einwohner zugänglich und erschwinglich. Außerdem sorgen wir für nationale Ernährungssicherheit, indem wir in neue Methoden für die Landwirtschaft investieren, um die Ernten zu steigern. Wir sorgen dafür, dass das Land und die Luft unserer Umwelt gesäubert werden kann, und wir unterstützen die Entwicklung der Energieversorgung, um jede Nation autark zu machen. Die Investitionen für den Bau von Industriezonen, zugeschnitten auf die Bedürfnisse werden zu 100% von der Keshe Foundation Manufacturing getätigt, die für Forschung und Entwicklung, Produkte, Technologien, Arbeitsplätze und Ausbildung sorgt. Die Industriezonen sind einfache Mittel, um eine Ära der Fülle ihrer Nation herbeizuführen. Die Keshe Foundation bietet die Lösungen und Voraussetzungen, welche ihre Nation und ihre benachbarten Nationen auf ein gleiches Niveau anheben werden. Die Freude und Schönheit dieser neuen Plasmatechnologie und globale Bildung liefern bahnbrechende Produkte, welche der gesamten Menschheit weltweit dienen. Hier sehen Sie eine Führung von Herrn Keshe durch die Ausstellung. An https youtube.be/ und so weiter. Details zur Anmeldung. If you can go up a little bit. Diese Ausstellung ist für alle österreichischen Staatsangehörigen kostenlos. Bitte weisen Sie für die Zulassung die österreichische Staatsbürgerschaft nach. Um sich anzumelden, kontaktieren Sie bitte office@at.kfm.global. Für alle anderen Staatsangehörigen ist es erforderlich, sich über den untenstehenden Link anzumelden. https://store.keshefoundation.org und so weiter. Wir freuen uns darauf, Sie auf unserer Ausstellung begrüßen zu dürfen. Der Universalrat. Thank you. Dankeschön.
Thank you, Caroline. The plan was to show the 2 videos with Mr. Keshe from the exhibition after this, Rick.
Okay, just getting that lined up. Okay, I think we're ready to play the video here.
In the new space technology, we do not need to take food, we do not need to take medicine. And any illness can be handled in space according to the fields of the body. And this is what is called the universal body enhancement, which means body corrects itself. If you are hungry, you sit in the system, it replenishes the food. It takes what energy is not needed. And once you enter the system, it gives you everything you need. The system works with the internal system body of the man and gives every need that the body can demand, be it food or in a space like viruses. It can extract viruses from the body as we have today. This is what we call universal body enhancement. And from now on, man does not need to depend on eating food, where he can transfer energy directly to the body as we digest the food inside our body, in our stomach or in the intestine. This is the breakthrough in the space, and in so many ways, the beginning of a new era of space, without food, without medicine, without materials for man to take into space. This is the new Universal Material Enhancement Unit. What it does, it works like Earth and the Sun, and inside it we can produce any material we need in a space. In a space we cannot take materials with us. With a new understanding of the technology, we can literally make what we need at the point of demand anywhere in the space. We can produce materials where the center works like a sun, and all the systems, each one tuned to produce one material. We can produce copper, we can produce zinc. We can produce any material we need at a time and a point of need and demand. And this is what the new technology is. The new space technology, man does not need to carry any food, medicine, or water. We produce it anywhere in space. This allows the mankind to be able to sustain life for long-term duration anywhere in the universe. One important is produces whatever you need inside.
And that unit is called the Universal Material Enhancement Spaceship Unit.
Did you change to the other presentation?
Yes, I've got the other document.
Yeah, so
here.
the next slide should be the peace dome.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, buon pomeriggio. Sorry. Good afternoon. I'm sorry, I'm keeping translating Italian. I'm Stefania, and I'm the Universal Council. I represent the Italian language. And the Peace Dome, as you know, for people who already follow us, it's an appointment that we have. We have every Sunday, and 12 o'clock p.m. and 6 o'clock p.m. European time. And we invite everyone all over the world to spray guns together, and with intention to bring peace and to change the environment. As we know, the environment, the body adapts to the environment, so we have to create a condition to achieve what we want. So our intention is spray all together the guns, the water guns in the air. It's to make this connection between all of us as we are all over the world, and to raise the fields, and this will allow us to live in peace. This is an effortless way to do it. A very simple action, just spray the guns. And time and space between all of us, by sharing the same wish and the same vision, we can achieve all together this much easier. We're gonna be like a big magnet. So this is the reminding of the Dome of Peace. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Next slide, please.
Hello. Salam, Namaste, Salute. This is Shwetanvar, UC Hindi language. And this is invitation to join as Universal Council member or Universal Council support. So welcome, my dear souls. Welcome, my dear ones, to the one planet, as Rick said, always the one planet, one nation and one race. As welcome to the energy of the Universal Council support. Welcome to this lovely energy of peace and unity and services. So I want to say something about this. you can find the background information about the Universal Council can be found, and also about the Universal Council support can be found in the UC Charter and the UC mandate on the homepage of the UC. So I want to share a little about it. As we are all soul energy, we are all universal soul, and we are all universal community. But we have to feel that. That is the condition, and we have to enhance that knowledge, and that knowledge will enhance from within our souls. And we from eons we are helping each other in the soul level, so we are here to be together. So then, walking with the ethos of the foundation, with the energies of the universal community, the love of the creator traveling in space, we will learn how to receive and give energy in beauty and totality. We can see in the visible light again the beauty of the creator who loves us all always. Love is the nature of the soul in a way, described in various ways, expressed in every culture by wise beings of true human nature. In the blessings of the Keshe plasma space knowledge technology, the universe is now explainable, the soul is now explainable to all in the simplest way. So, with the universal pillars within us, in each of us, the soul, the peace, the unity, the ethos, and the surfaces. So we have to stand vertical to be in the universal community, to be in the universal love. Then, in the simplest way, you ask, in totality, you will be given immediately in totality. So, and you will love this, what is given forever. So I must say, I also appeal, this is an appeal of love, a call of love to join. I also appeal to the younger generation, call to the younger generation to join, as in the soul level, we all are equal. Please do join. There is no more struggle you have to do. There is no more examination you have to give. Just you have to come and say, I want to join and give my services to humanity and all. So please join. The beauty is here. That was before, is now appearing again. And you can feel the supreme magic of love, the holistic view of love. So I, the decision to join will be made by the soul. This is very important, that the soul should make the decision. As someone in the, want to mention a little, some words from 2012 portal blog, that soul to soul is the basis of connection in a soul family. That is the universal family, and not through personality or programming. We can use our mind to use as we have been programmed to use it, or use it as to express the soul in a way, in totality and beauty. So, dear ones, I will repeat the poem again. Leave the cocoon, become a butterfly, fly high and high in the colors of the rainbow, fell in love with all the lovers passing by. Be in love with all the lovers, all of us. So, this is what I want to say. Please join, welcome with my heart and soul from the Universal Council Energy, Universal Council support. We all welcome you with open arms. Welcome, dear ones, welcome. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salute. Thank you. So I'm sorry, I apologize. The Universal Council members can join the open language positions, any language. From all over the world. Universal Council support members can join any chosen language. Apply by filling in the form of the given in the bottom of this page. Rick, can you open the page, please? It will take a little moment to open. Yes, the page is open. This is the Universal Council page. See the color, the violet color, the ascension color. I will say, as the wise men of eons ago used to say. This is the page of the Universal Council. You can read the soul mandate fully and this Universal Council Charter and mandate totally, absolutely, fully from this page. You will be happiest than ever if you read this. Go through the page, see the knowledge, be in the knowledge, join the knowledge. So this is the Universal Council page, and go through it. Maybe because of many events are going on, maybe it will take a little time for some security measures also to review your applications, but it will be there with us, with the Keshe Foundation, and you will be given the answer immediately. We are all energies, we have to merge. And this is the application coming. Fill this application with your soul pen, as soul to soul is the basis of communication, connection in the universal community. Please fill this form with your soul love and give it, send it to the Universal Council. We will, as early as possible, we will contact in no time if we say in the universal community. So thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salute. Thank you, Rick. If anybody have any question or about this invitation or the Linz invitation, that was, we are enhanced, the material enhancement unit is there, and this is so beautiful. If there are anyone and want to know anything more about that, you can have an interaction with us immediately now, or any question or any suggestion, advice, any knowledge, anything of love you can give. We are here to answer every of your curiosity. Thank you so much.
Sweta, hi. Hello, it's Dean here from the UK, representing the English language.
Yes.
Can I just ask a question? Is that okay, everybody? I'd like to ask the Universal Council regarding the health units. And from the understanding that I know, the deep connection we all have with the universe and the Keshe technologies, I know that you can connect with these units with your thoughts and intentions and give loving, healing abilities or conditions to other souls, to help other souls that are in need, who have conditions that need balancing. With your love and intention and thoughts, can you transmit your thoughts and intentions through the unit to other souls present?
Yes, we are also the unit, Dean. We are also the enhancement unit. We are all plasma beings. We can do that. We are doing it. Yes, Dean. As you are a lovely soul, a wise soul, you are doing it. You have seen a pearl. I have also mentioned it. You have seen a pearl forming, a pearl?
I have, yes. I know it's beautiful.
Yeah, it is emitting the beauty, you see? And the pearl is an enhancement of the worm that was in the oyster. So this is how it emits to give the beauty, to the love to each other. So you are like a pearl. You can do it from anywhere. We are all enhancement units. So I am doing it from here. Marie is doing it from there. The enhancement unit is working because of the universal energy is there with all of us in it. So we can do it exactly what we want to do. The material advancement enhancement unit, the material we can give by our intentions. See, what I want to say is, what is your intention is the most utter important thing, to have the soul and soul communication. So this is what I want to say, Dean. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's beautiful, Sweta. I'd also like to say, sorry to interrupt you, I'd also like to say to everybody out there that many people need to understand the beauty of the soul, the real that each and every one of us possesses within us. You have a soul which is in your physicality. You have many trillions of cells that become the soul of physicality. You also have a soul in your brain, and that soul is a deep connection that was given to you in your mother's womb from the universe, and that soul can connect you to any other soul on this planet and across the universe. It's incredibly powerful, beautiful gift you were given. And through this technology and through the Keshe enhancement units and through your soul, we're starting to learn to connect once more with the whole of humanity and the whole of the unicos, which is the universes, which is the whole of the universal community, which we are part of. The only reason we have not been connected is we've closed ourselves to this information. But now through this beautiful knowledge that's been freely given to humanity, we're all reconnecting, we're all understanding our true beauty. And through the Universal Council, which has formed and has spread peace and love across this planet, through the foundation, many beautiful things are starting to materialize, like these health units and many other gifts that Mr. Keshe has given. So once again, I'd just like to thank everybody involved for bringing this beautiful knowledge to humanity and to help and bring beauty to all the souls across the whole of the universes. That deep connection. Planet Earth is a very small little speck of dust floating around in the universe. Understand your beauty when it comes to the fact that you are a tiny little soul that has the ability to be a bright star anywhere in the universe that you desire to be. Thank you, Shweta. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Dean. Thank you. So beautiful you said. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so maybe we go to the next slide. Oh, here's a little soul teaching. That is kind of in the line with the soul teachings that we had last time. This time it's from the 194th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Just have to move my dog here, just a moment. Sorry about that. Yes, so this is from something that I call the soul teaching list, which is a list of the soul teachings from 193rd that we heard last time, and until the I think 212th Knowledge Seekers Workshop, and I think it is in line with the Mojan program that Stefania and others participated in, and I believe that this is part of what Mr. Keshe teaches the rest of us, the public, about as a part of the Mojan program. That is my thought. So the first part here is called "Who Are We in the Body of the Universe?" Okay, so please play that part, Rick. Thank you.
Most of the things which we have seen developed by the knowledge seekers through this course of teachings over 3 years is matter-state systems. We confirm our existence through the matter existence or matter subjects. We can make a system that is dynamic and it shows something, then it's the effect of plasma or a gas. We make systems that shows alkalineness or acidity, and we say this is the property of the gas or the property of the plasma. What is need to be understood and what it needs to be developed and what it needs to be comprehended fully by man is the existence of the energies which emitted from the man, from the center of his creation, what we call the soul of the man. Do we need proof that the fields emitted from us, from the soul of us, which comes from the matter state of physicality of us, is any different than the machines you've made? Plasma patches, maggraph systems, pens, or do we, or have we at so early stages of this knowledge have drawn a line that this is as much as we want to know? We are happy with a pen and a coil and some energies and that's it. This is where most of the teaching has to come to an end. Where come to an end in a physical state of matter, but moving into the next step to understanding the emission of the fields and the interaction of the fields, and going beyond the physical state which we have accepted and we have educated ourselves over centuries and thousands of years. Not only man, but any other creature on this planet. Any other being, be it the plants, be it the fish, be it whatever. We have to start trusting, understanding, and developing the interaction of the souls, which is the inner strength of any being, which is the star, which is the center, which is the creator of the totality. In so many ways, we have to come to understand, and as I've said, what we cannot see in micro, we see in macro. What we don't see in macro, we see in micro. And then we understand how we should comprehend where and rejoice the existence of the soul of the man. So many of us, we speak about the sun, and so many of us speak about the soul of the man. So many of us speak about reaching the essence of the being. Does not matter in what state, which position in the universe. If those of you who have not understood the operation of the soul and you need a confirmation of it, even though because it's within you, it's very hard to reach, look into the solar system. Your soul is the sun, and the radiation from this entity leads to creation of matter states of the different part of the entity. Let's say the soul interacts with its own fields, and the interaction of the fields which are outside, dominating and conditioning its size and position in the galaxy, in a given position leads to creation of the earth. Let it be the heart of the solar system. Even though the soul, which is the sun, exists, the heart still beats. Let, for example, the Venus be the kidney, or puts something else in the place of heart, with all the subsidiaries, with all the veins and the flow of the fields. In essence, the soul of this solar system has manifested itself in the form of planets and moons, confirming its existence
and in that process interacts with other stars, with other solar systems, with other galaxies inside the system of the universe. It's not that it's just the sun on the wings of Milky Way. Its existence allows the field coordination of the Milky Way, even though so small. A scratch or a little boil or little tumor in the small part of the body of the man affects the rest of the existence of the man. So is the solar system in the galaxy. And so is the galaxy in the structure of the universe. And so is the universe in the structure of the universe. We have to understand how the fields of the sun in emitting from its center leads to the creation of these organs, these conditions which we call planetary or the moons or a cosmic dust or whatever we call it. The earth will not exist where it is if it was not conditioned by the condition of the galaxy. So it has manifested itself in that condition, because the forces of the galaxy still pass through the earth, pass through the solar system, pass through the fields of the plasma of this structure. So is the rays of the universe through the body of the man. We think, and we have been brought up to think just because we have a skin, we have contained everything within and nothing goes in. Our body is nothing but the sponge of the fields which pass through the universe. We stand outside and look at shooting stars. The way the fields enter the plasma of the solar system slows down, and then in the atmosphere of the plasma of the earth reduces enough that it becomes a light to manifest itself. Traveling for billions of years in the space of universe, and it changes its condition of the matter state to energy of light we see. So it's the same inside the body of the man. If we could sit within the skin of the man, we'll see many, many shooting stars. The way the energy passes through the skin slows down, and then it releases its energy, its manifestation of creation in the universe within the manifestation of body of the man. How do we feel it? How do we react with it? This is what we have to understand in the depth of the space. What happened to the fields and the rays of the universe which passes through the soul of the man. The soul of the man is like what we call the principal matter. It's in the center. Is created to absorb certain strength fields that confirms and guarantees its existence once it's established. So in the depth of the universe, what we see within the depth of the soul of the man. For many of the knowledge seekers, this is the line which they cannot imagine they can pass and understand. But this is us, this is part of us. This is our existence. And this is the combination of the confirmation of the existence of souls and the confirmation of the reduction in the strength of the souls that leads to the creation of every entity on this universe. If you stand still and think, on the planet Earth, we have a crust. We have interaction of physicalities, we have islands, oceans, land parts, and everything else. Which part of the universe are we when we look from outside of this universe on us? Are we part of the magma? Or are we part of the shell? Are we part of the structure of the inner soul of the entity? But the reality is how far, how much we can understand, and how much we would like to understand. We have to understand that the soul of the man is a sun. It radiates its fields. At certain point in the interaction with the field of the atmosphere of this planet, creates a boundary which we call the body of the man. In that point, his life does not stop. The fields of the soul of the man still spreads across the universe. Very much like the light we see from the stars in the universe. If we could make systems that we could see the faintest lights in the universe, then we'll see the body of the man as one of these stars, because it still radiates. We see the soul of the man as one of these stars. And in different condition, in different part, according to the fields, the strength of this environment, it manifests itself as the solar system we know, the galaxy we know, and the universe we know. So what we don't see in macro, we see in micro. So in so many ways, as we see the light of the star reaching us billions of years, as they say, light years away from us, it's the same with the soul of the man. It radiates. It emits its fields, and it's for us to start to become mature in not looking for the physicality of the man, but looking for the interaction of the fields of the soul of the man. In the space, we have no physicality, but we carry the soul of the man. In the teachings, as we enter into the next phases of the space technology, man has to become mature to this. It is part of understanding the totality of the creation and not being stuck with the material condition of the present time.
Okay, you can stop the video. Okay, so he starts with telling us that we confirm our existence through the matter states of the system that we created. We see the effect of the plasma in the GAN or the GANs as alkalineness or acidity or color of organces and things like that. We now have to start to comprehend the existence of the energies that emits from the soul of the man in our brain, as Dean told us here. And by that, we need to start to understand the interaction of the fields. And Mr. Keshe has told us that over and over. And we have to start to trust our understanding and develop the interactions of the soul. And that all beings has this soul, which is the inner strength of any being. And the soul, as we know, is the star and the center and is the creator of the totality. And he also emphasized that what we don't see in macro, we can see in micro. And what we don't see in micro, we see in macro. So if we look into the solar system, your soul is a sun, and it's really a sun, and it radiates from this entity of the soul. And by doing that, it creates, it leads to creation of matter states in different part of the entity. So in essence, the soul of this solar system has manifested itself in the form of planets and moons to confirm its existence, just like our soul of the man has created our organs. The solar system has created the planets and the moons and everything. And he also explained that by saying that one planet can be the heart and one can be the liver and things like that. So it's really the soul of the system. It's the soul of the solar system, for instance, that has created all this. And he also explained that, like in our body, if we have a scratch or a little boil or a tumor in a small part of the body, then it will affect the whole system, the rest of the existence of the man. And this is the same in the solar system, in the galaxy. And so is the galaxy in the structure of the universe. And so is the universe in the structure of the unicos. So, it's all one big structure. And if you feel pain, it's pain through the whole structure in a way. So it all affects everything else. The fields of the sun emitting from its center, and it leads to these organs that I described. Let's see. And it has manifested itself in that condition. So the forces of the galaxy are, or the fields from the galaxy is still passing through the Earth, and it's passing through the solar system, and it's passing through the fields of the plasma of the whole structure. And these fields of the universe are also passing through the body of the man. And he says that our body is nothing but a sponge in the fields of the fields which passes through the universe. So everything is passing through us all the time. And here's another example of the micro and micro. And if you could sit within the skin, under your skin, you could see many shooting stars. And that's the way the energy is passing through the skin and slows down, and it releases its energy, and it manifests. It's a manifestation of creation of the universe. And so when we see the shooting stars on the sky, on the dark sky, it's the same process that happens inside our body. Isn't that very interesting? So the soul of the man, or our soul within our brain, its principal matters. It's the strongest of fields. It's the center of our being or existence, and it is created to absorb certain strength fields, Mr. Keshe says, and to confirm and guarantee its existence once it's established. And he emphasizes that we have to understand that the soul of the man is a sun. And the sun up on the sky is radiating its fields out, and our soul of the man is doing the same thing. And at certain point in this interaction with the field of the atmosphere of this planet, it creates the boundary of the body of the man. So we all created from the field interactions, and everything else is also, yeah. And the fields of the soul of the man still spreads across the universe. So as a sun in my head, it doesn't stop by the border of this planet. It will what my soul of the man is radiating out. It's continuing out in the universe. And it's very much like the light we see from the stars in the universe, Mr. Keshe says. And he emphasized again that it's time for us to become mature, and not by not looking into the physicality, because as a human we are very physical and we need to see things, but it's much more than that. We have to look at the interaction of the fields of the soul of the man. And when we are traveling in space, where we are going, we will not have the physicality, but we will carry the soul of the man. So that is the end of this part. And there are much more in this 194th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And I hope I can present even more from this next time too. But I have another slot, which is short. It's about 9 minutes, which is very interesting as well. And it's called The Rainbow of the Universe and the Reality of the Soul of the Man. So if we have time for it, I want us to play that part too.
Okay, it looks like it just carries on from the previous, so
yes, it does.
Let me get that lined up here. Okay, here we go.
In many teachings, you all look for the GANs. You all look for the material that you can confirm this is a CO2 or GANs of CH3 or the others. And in many of the teachings, I keep on emphasizing, look for the fields they create. What does this star emit? What does emission means? Look at the sun. It emits fields. We call it lights when it interacts with the atmospheric condition of this planet. Stays in transition. It stays in a high speed of motion, and in that position travels the span of the solar system. And those fields which are higher than the structure of the resistance in the interaction with the other fields of the universe, it travels through into the other solar system. It travels into the depth of the galaxy. The field of the soul of the man reaches the inner sanctums of the universe, as it came from and shall return to. We have to become educated to move on to the next step. And I see a lot of problem for a lot of people to go through this transition, because having a cup with a GANs in it is good enough. I'm happy with it. Those who want to go through the next step have to understand the position of the soul of the man. Have to understand how, for example, the fields of the soul of the man interaction with the other souls creates a dimension which they have never seen before. The physicality of the sun and the surface of the sun does not finish the existence of the sun. The light it emits, the rays it emits, crosses the boundaries within the shell of the solar system, and then it interacts with other solar systems that at the point of manifestation shows the structure of the soul of the planet, what we call the structure of what we call the solar system. Sun itself is a matter of physicality. The shell of the solar system is the boundary of the soul of the planet, the whole of the what we call the star. Every entity has two dimensions, and in different fields and different strength interaction, it shows one of its attributes. It's very much like a rainbow, at different strength, different colors. The interaction of the light does not stop at one line of the rainbow, but different strength of it creates different colors of the rainbow. So is the soul of the man. The earth is the physicality. The interaction of different field, the strength of the atmosphere of itself creates different line of boundaries, what we call the rainbows, different colors. So is the soul of the man. So is the sun. So is what we call in reality we see but we don't understand fully, very much like the ring of Saturn. Every field interaction creates a boundary of the fields without the matter condition, but the field condition. So is the soul of the man. In interaction with the physical condition of the fields of the planet, we have created the physicality of the body of the man. But the soul of the man and his fields goes beyond this shell of the skin. How do we detect the rest of it? How do we watch the rest of these fields interact with other souls, with other fields? Do I become purple next to another soul and I become very much yellow with another soul? What does yellow mean? Is it further or is it closer to me? Is it of the hate or is it of the love? Can I bring it closer to become purple? That to me is safety. I allow so much space closer. We have to understand, we have to expand understanding of the operation of the soul of the man. And every tool to confirm the confirmation is within the reach of the man. We know, but we have never understood. Many people speak and show and they say, this is the magnetic field. Some people call it aura, but is the aura of the man finishes within a few inches or centimeters from the body of the man? Is that the interaction of the soul of the cells of the man with the atmosphere? But the soul of the man, which is within the brain of the man, has its own rainbow within the condition of atmosphere of this planet and within the solar system. Does the rainbow confirm the existence of the planet in its physical state, or does it state the fields of the planet in interaction with the fields of other matter state strength within the boundary of the field of the planet? How come we see it and it's not there? It's elusive, but we observe it, and to us it's so real. Planet Earth is kilometers away, but the fields stand in different shape of colors in the atmosphere of the Earth, and in reality, beyond Earth, we'll see rings of different strength. It's the property of the different field strength which create different color atmosphere in the universe. What color means the distance coverage from the soul? What color means the position of the environment in that respect? Then we understand the reality about the soul of the man. This is the step which we have to take. Everyone has been shied away from talking about the soul, which means we never understood our own creation. Now we understand, we have to study it. We have to become mature in understanding it, that allows us, with this maturity, to enter into the space of the universe. Without it, man shall fail in the space. This is what all these teachings are about. We are maturing to the next step, to the next level, irrespective of what the physical matter state demands. Those who mature to the reality of the creation and search for understanding the totality have to look into the field of the soul of the man's interaction with the rest of the universe. Then they will see the depth of the universe, they understand the operation of the universe, they understand their position, and in respect to and as a process of the function of their own soul. Man many times has been brought to this point and is shied away from it. This time there is no shyness. This time the human race and the rest of the beings on this planet will reach the point of maturity to understand the totality.
Okay, so we stop there.
In the process of interaction of
Okay, so again he says that we don't look at the ganses, look for the fields they create. So we heard that over and over again, and so that is the important thing here, to look at the fields. And he talks about what do this star emits, or soul of the man, or the sun, or the star. It emits fields, or it sends out fields, and we call it lights. And the lights that we can see with our eyes here on planet Earth is due to the interaction with the atmospheric conditions of this planet. But these fields that is emitted from the sun, they stay in transition, and they travel with the highest speed of motion. And in that position travels the span of the solar system. And it travels into other solar systems, and it travels into the depth of this galaxy and further on. And the fields of the soul of the man, our sun, in that is in our head, or between our brain, also reaches the inner sanctums of the universe. And the physicality of the sun in our solar system and the surface of the sun does not finish the existence of the sun. So when we look at the sun, we only see this yellow thing. So that is not the sun. The sun, the light that the sun emits, it goes all the ways across the boundaries within the shell of the solar system. So the sun is actually the whole solar system. And then it interacts with other solar systems that at the point of manifestation shows the structure of the soul of the planet, which we call the structure of the solar system. So I know that in book number 2 there is a lot about the light. It's called the structure of the light, and the light is sent. That is the fields that is emitted from the sun, and it travels as light, which is plasma in which is traveling, and it goes all the way to the outer boundaries of the solar systems, our solar system, and it kind of rains back. Yeah, so it says again, the shell of the solar system is the boundary of the soul of the planet. He also says that every entity has 2 dimensions, and in different fields and different strength interaction, it shows one of its attributes. And the interaction of the light do not stop at one line of the rainbow. So we are over on the rainbow. And the different field strength of it create different colors of this rainbow. And so is the soul of the man. So the earth is the physicality. And the interaction of different field strength of the atmosphere of itself creates different lines of boundaries, which we call the rainbows, different colors. So it's different line of boundaries. And so is also the soul of the man and the sun. So what we call, so it looks a little bit like the rings of Saturn. The different colors shows the different field strengths. And we have to understand the operation of the soul of the man. And every tool we have to confirm this is with all the tools we need to confirm the existence of the soul is within the reach of the man. But we haven't matured enough yet, all of us at least. And he also has a very interesting part here about the aura, because many humans knows about the aura. But he says, since the aura is just some centimeters around the body, I think he says in a way that this aura is kind of the rainbow of the soul of physicality, or the soul of, because every cell in our body has a soul. And this is the aura or the rainbow of the soul of these cells, or the cells or the soul of physicality. Because this, the soul of the man is so strong, so it will send its fields much longer. So, and the soul of the man probably has a soul, rainbow of itself. Does the rainbow confirm the existence of the planet in its physical state? Or does it stay the field of the planet in interaction with the field of others, matter state strength, within the boundary of the field of the planet? So the planet Earth is kilometers away, but the field stands in different shapes of the colors. In the atmosphere of the Earth and in reality beyond Earth, we see a ring of different strengths. And it's the property of the different field strengths we see, which create different colors in the atmosphere. And it talks about what these colors means. Does it mean the distance coverage from the soul? or the position of the environment in that respect. So we have to become mature in the understanding, and with this maturity to enter the space of the universe. And without it, we will fail in space. Okay, yeah, so that was my summary. I really would like to hear other people talk about what they heard from this teaching from Mr. Keshe. Thank you.
So I want to thank you, Marie, for this wonderful information and summary. And yes, it's very big information about the universe and the soul of the man, and feels yes, really big. And I have a question, because there was things, the thing is, Mr. Keshe said, when you don't see it in the macro, you see it in the micro. And perhaps you can give an example in the normal living environment. What does that mean? You said something about the stars at the skies. Also, I have some problems with the language to understand some things. And perhaps you give an example to understand it in the normal living, when we in the normal living, with, of the meaning of when you don't see it in the macro, you see it in the micro. Thank you.
Yeah, I have a brain freeze, but what he was saying in this teaching is said that when you look at this the sky at night and you see shooting stars, that is energy that comes from outside and enters this plasma of the earth, and it emits light when it slows down. And he says that if you could sit underneath your skin, you will see the same, how the energy that is entering your skin, and it will slow down, and it probably would emit light as well, because in plasma, micro and macro are the same. So that is very interesting. But I guess there's many more examples of that. Another example is that, okay, we have the soul of the man. It's a sun. So you can look at the sun and see how the sun is emitting its light. So our soul of the man in our head is emitting in the same way, because it's also a sun, you know. Is there any other who could add to this, please?
So I understand what you say. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. But is other knowledge seekers who can? So when we make all these experiments with the creating ganses, that is to kind of see how the fields interact to create things. So when we understand that is what we are seeing, then we have to put that out in our own reality. How, when I emit from my soul of the man, and it meets other fields from maybe another entity. What is happening? We are creating something. That is how I understand it. But we need some more input from others here. Is there anyone who wants to say something?
Marie, can I say something? Hello?
Of course, please.
Oh, thank you. I want to say, Birgit, thank you for the question. If the micro and the macro, the home, the house I am in, I thought when I am a housewife, and I thought the house is all there. All the beings love me. And then I realized that the aura, the field, is not interacting properly. We can say the dynamic fields. As I started positioning myself with the knowledge, I am in the micro. And then I started looking for the other fields, I will say. Someone said me, I love you. And I got outside. And I say, I see a being saying me, oh, I love you. Please do come. He was not from the home. What I said home, I thought it was home. And the field grows like that. The universe is there for me. And from the micro, I came to the macro. And there are soul beings seeing me, telling me, I love you in the dimension of the love, the fields of love, the dynamic fields, and position themselves around me as I wanted them to be. So this is what I can explain about the micro and the macro. We are in, we were, and it is. Birgit, uh, is that it? Is that all? Okay.
Yes, Sweta, I understand what you
Yes.
say. I understand.
As
Uh,
as you were talking with me, your presentation was so beautiful. You presented. It was like uh, straight to the heart. The colors you have uh, presented. It was straight with, and there was a Birgit, and I was from here, this place, and there was a point of light, another point of light, another field, and we made a connection. We are in love to each other. How the dynamic fields reacts like this. With all,
so,
everywhere is one, but we have to see the light, the point of light. That's it. To see the fields, we cannot see the fields, but we can see the fields within the eyes of the soul. So this is how we connect with the fields, with the dynamic fields, positioning ourselves wherever we are, in a way to feel the condition of love, to feel the colors, to feel the aura. Thank you, Birgit. Thank you, Marie. Thank you.
thank you, Sweta, for your words going straight to my heart. Full of love. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, I understand micro and macro. I understand it. I understand it before because I know the meaning of it because I'm also a teacher for some other people, and I only did not understand the meaning of it when you say when you don't see or when you don't see macrocosmos, you will see it in the microcosmos. So I thought
Yes.
that this is a different thing, but I don't know. Perhaps it's only
The
the word.
colors you used in your presentation represents you, so vibrant, so radiant, so in love, that has affected everybody present that day. So this is what our soul reacts in the dynamic fields. You expressed your soul. So this is what I, as a mother, I learned. I enhanced that in a way. If there was a pain, I also enhanced that. What is according as the dynamic fields. Now, because we know the knowledge, why the pain was given, even the pain was there, because I have accepted that. So now I don't accept that. In the dynamic fields, I don't accept that. I don't want the pain here anymore. I don't want. I wish for it. And my wish is my command. So this is how the fields work. Thank you so much, Birgit. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you, Sweta.
Hello, it's Menas. How are you, everybody? I hope you are fine.
Yes, we are fine.
Yes, we are fine.
This idea of microcosm and microcosm is in the Chinese cosmogony. It means that whatever you see in a very, very big is the same pattern that you see in a very, very small. For me, it's like an architect which wants to make a monument. First on a page, he does the maquette, he does the, what's that in English? He makes the plan, and then he puts the echelon, the degree of like 2 centimeters is equal 1 meter, etc. Right? The measurements. And he makes it on a piece of paper, right? But he creates it, let's say, in 2,000 square meters, in the same pattern, the same model he creates on a 2,000 square meter land. But it follows the same pattern, but with a bigger, we call it echelon, with a bigger unity of measurement, right? So he creates with the workers the same plan which he had on the paper, but in a bigger size, in the life size that they need. It might be much bigger, but it starts with the measurements which come into one paper. And like when we see the atom, I'm not very good at it, but I think it's the smallest things also we can easily see. The movements of electrons around around the center, and the neutron and proton, when we see that the measurements, which doesn't change the speed and everything, is the same thing which exists in the galaxies, right? Like the sun and the moon and the earth, they turn around with same speed, with the same direction, without exceeding or falling out of their norms, their what's supposed to be. So in the galaxies, now they have the picture of the galaxies, which looks with the neurons, which looks like the brain of the man. They have found the brain of the man has the same neurons communication line, and the whole galaxy with the same line of communication, information, etc. So the galaxy is too big that we see, but it's the same pattern as the atom that we can see. It's the same law, only the measurement is different.
Exactly, that's very true. And I think that is what Mr. Keshe is trying to make us comprehend that everything is the same. Everything is the same. If it's small or big, it doesn't matter. It's all built and act in the same way. You know, created and yeah.
Because there is not different. There is no different laws. Just one law, just one orders, and then just one command, and then everything is created according to this command as they can, right? Like the fields go around as they can, but it's the same law. They follow the same pattern, the same order, in fact. The order is the same. So if we can have the instruments to see them one day with perfect imagery, with perfect instruments, we see it's the same thing. I've seen the picture of the galaxy and the brain. Seems like it's the same pattern. They are related the same way. And so that's it's the same God, if you want. It's the same creator. It's the same law. In my opinion, it's the same law. Nothing goes out of this law. Otherwise, it becomes anarchy. Anarchy is sickness, in fact. It has to go out of the system. Means if we learn something very small very well, it's the same thing as something very, very big that we cannot even understand. For me, it's like one God, one creator, one law.
I think the micro and macro, to understand that, when we comprehend that everything is the same in small and big, that is when we understand the totality. You know, Mr. Keshe is talking about that all the time. You have to understand the totality or comprehend the totality. This is totality. When you understand that the atom is operating in the same way as the galaxy or the universe, you know.
But maybe because we're too small, maybe we just see our measurements are very small, but yeah, maybe totality, as you said, means that the unity of everything in everything.
Exactly, and that everything is connected too. Like he explained in this teaching, that if you have a tumor in your body, your whole body is suffering. And that is the same in the universe as well. So because it's all connected, we are kind of within, you know?
Yeah.
So when we understand that, and that's why we have to act good and think good and all this, because if we don't do that, that's an ache in the big structure, which is the whole creation and the creator.
Yeah. Like when we make a food with the same recipe for 2 people, or for 12 people, but it's the same recipe.
Exactly.
So for me,
that was very good, what you said, Mehran. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's Doug here. I'd like to bring up a point that Dr. Gatua mentioned in the chat last week, I think, that the fields from the universal body enhancement unit available to everybody, as we can send our fields to the body enhancement unit. Also, the body enhancement unit can send its fields back to us and give us what we need, even if we're far, far away. And I think he suggested, you know, looking at the pictures we have now of the body enhancement unit, we can interact with it no matter where we are. And that struck me as very important, that the fields are two-way, and there's no limit. We've just been discussing there's no limit to the fields, how far they travel. So, you know, if we can't personally be in Linz, we can interact. Look at it. It's a beautiful, beautiful, call it a machine, with its creator standing there. And you can feel an interaction. It's sending its fields out, not only to the earth, I would suggest, but out into the universe. It's an amazing manifestation, physical manifestation for us to see. But the real power is in the fields. And as we look at it, we can feel, we can interact. So I would like to thank Dr. Gatua for that small comment he made, because it really started me thinking. And anybody else would like to say something, that's fantastic.
Doug, hi, it's Dean here. I'd just like to say that to everybody that when you comprehend the knowledge and you understand the beauty of yourself and your soul that you have within yourself, and you look at the soul of the unit and you connect your soul with that soul, you're all one. And so you can achieve anything from micro to macro. So if we went from a human cell, and within that human cell, and we go in on a subatomic level, and we go further down the chain, and it goes back to a universe again, then smaller down to a solar system and a planet. And then on that planet, you find some creatures, maybe in physicality, scurrying around like animals, and maybe an intelligence, could be a human being. And then within that human being, there'll be another cell. And that's a soul. And then from that cell, you go further down again. And you keep going down and down. And let's come back up the other way, then go right the way back up to planet Earth. And then from planet Earth, we go out to the solar system, and we look back at the galaxies. And then from those galaxies, we look out further and we go back to the unicos. And then what was Mr. Keshe said, where he said that I made man in the image of myself. This is the creator. So then you understand what the creator is. It's everything, every cell, every part that we interact with. And each cell in your body, if you have an interaction with it that's incorrect with your thoughts and intentions, that you fed the seed some information that it doesn't resonate. So it causes it disease, it causes it problems. But those problems then manifest as illnesses that we have, all of us have, we all have them as a human race. And that's through the conditioning and the environment that we live in. So when you start to interact with this unit on a soul level, you can start to balance yourself back out again. But the best of it is, and the most amazing thing is, that when you understand that to really balance yourself is to balance somebody else, to give. So if you give from your soul to this unit to help somebody else, that's when you're in servitude. That's when you're really giving, and that's when that's where the magic happens. That's the beauty of this knowledge. When you learn that universal beings give to each other, That's what it's all about. And then when you start giving to other people, other beings, then you receive back more. So that's the beauty of it, and that's the condition that we need on this planet. The understanding that many people come together and understand the beauty of your next door neighbor, the beauty of the animals and the creatures that are on this planet. When you understand the beauty of yourself and learn to love yourself very deeply. That's all. Thank you, Doug. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Dean. That was excellent.
Thank you.
I'd just like to say a couple words. There's been some questions on YouTube about the nature of the sun and where does the energy of the sun come from? Where does the light come from, and this kind of thing. So I suggested Mr. Keshe's book called The Structure of the Light, which goes into detail about the light and where it comes from and what how the suns and galaxies and solar systems are created and so on. And I just happened to have the book here, and I just happened to have it come open to chapter 5, which is called The Light and Its Interaction with the Principal Star. And I had given an answer previously in the YouTube to Mary Beth that the sun is a plasma. She's wondering where does the energy of the sun come from? And I just responded, the sun is a plasma is the basic idea. The energy comes from the principal rays that get converted. Then I mentioned it's all in the main book of Mr. Keshe, Structure of the Light. So I just happened to just flip it open to chapter 5 and the light and its interaction with the principal star. And I'd like to read a couple of paragraphs from that chapter, which more or less, I think, explains the answer to that question. So it goes, the principal star is what has been commonly called the black hole. And it is understood that these entities are places where the principal magnetic fields and matters are created and collected. The plasmatic magnetic field of the principal star is being covered by dense layers of the transition magnetic fields. This being the reason as why they look to be dark, or where they are where there are no lights that are transparent in these regions in the specific parts of the galaxies in the cosmos. It says see figure 46, which is called the structure of the principal star. The light being in possession of the gravitational and magnetic fields of its own, and consequently the light having the magravs of its own, these field forces of the light in matter magnetic field strength environment of the universe take their positions in respect to the magravs of these principal stars in the center or any other part of the galaxies. So that's the basic idea, is that the interaction, he goes on to describe the interaction of these principal stars, or these black holes, which actually supply the energy for the suns and other plasmas that are are part of that transition energy that comes from these principal, what he calls principal stars. And we could look at that not only as out in the universe and way out in galaxies far, far away, but actually in this unit, which touches that same principal energy. and we can actually touch that inside of ourselves as well. And that's all part of the soul teaching and the way the plasma energy works. The cycle of creation, as Sylviane just put into the chat. Okay, I just wanted to add that the structure of the light is available at the Keshe Foundation store in the Kindle version for those that have further questions and want to know all the details about that. There's many chapters on the creation of the structure of the light. And part of the whole thing of GANs is the interaction of the fields. The interaction of the fields creates the GANs. And that's what Mr. Keshe has been trying to let us know for many years. It's all about the field interactions, which, this example from the book of the principal star and its interactions with the environment of the universe through the transition energies creates the plasmas that we see as the sun and other plasmas of the universe, and which creates the matter as well. So Mark mentions in the chat, the energy of the universe becomes the sun. The energies that became the earth, and the energies of the earth becomes the soul of the man, and so on and so forth. The energy of the sun became the earth. Yeah. So it's a conversion of the rays.
Yes, and when it says energy, that is defined in the books as fields in motion. So it's the fields, everything is in motion, so everything is energy too. Nothing is stationary in a way. And yeah, so and it's in this teaching that we heard from Mr. Keshe, he says that it's a way when we're talking about the solar system and the sun. The sun is the star in our solar system, but it's also the boundary of the soul of the sun is the boundary of the solar system. So it's the whole big thing, and the sun is manifesting through the emitting its fields and manifesting through the fields, the planets, and he compares it to the soul of the man, which also is the sun. That the soul of the man has manifested our organs, and the whole body is in the plasma state. So it's manifesting what it needs. And it says that the sun is manifesting to, what does it say? To confirm its existence in a way. And that everything is in 2 dimensions. So it's the as fields and and it can manifest to confirm its existence. So our soul of the man has created the body of the man to manifest or to confirm its existence in a way. Thank you.
And here we see an example of the central sun in the middle of the Universal Material Enhancement Spaceship Unit. This is called not the Body Enhancement, but Material Enhancement Spaceship Unit. And it has its central sun in the middle, which will emit. And then it has the what are essentially like the planets arranged in a configuration around it, and they receive the energies from that central sun and convert materials. And Mr. Keshe there he is actually showing the materials, some types of materials that can be created. And there's no limit to the types and varieties of materials that can be created, as there are no limits to the types and numbers of suns and planets that can be created in the universe. So this is a brilliant idea, this central sun inside of this egg reactor, and it's creating materials. And Mr. Keshe's idea or hope is that the other units will be paid for by the materials that can be created from the material unit, so that you can have people in the body enhancement units having their processing of their diseases and having great experiences at a very low or no cost, and it being subsidized by the material units. So you might have a series of the body enhancement units, and then have one material enhancement unit to be the to supply the materials that are very rare and useful for humans, that will pay for the other machines to be operated. This is his idea, so that people can have free or very economical healthcare through these units.
So I have a question. I hope I understand it. The sun in the middle of this reactor unit produces materials. Does that mean if someone, a person needs magnesium, especially, then this sun and the little, I don't know how to say about the little ones you see on the picture, the little reactors produce then magnesium because the person needs it. Is that really? Did I understand it?
Yeah, basically something like that. Depending on the settings and what you need to produce. Mr. Keshe said you can produce copper or zinc if you wish, and other, exotic. It looks like some copper derivative you might have in the plate there, for example. All depending on how things are set up and what the intention is of the experiment, and probably the speeds, rotation speeds, the type of ganses that are in the reactors, and so on and so forth. The same as our sun emits the rays, it doesn't give us all the oxygen and food and plants and animals directly, but through the conversion of its rays, while it is in the environment of the earth, just happens to give us everything we need from that conversion. It actually makes the nitrogen in the atmosphere due to the interaction of the magnetic and gravitational fields of the earth from the fields of the sun, and converts to oxygen, gives us our ability to live. But on Venus or Mars or the moon, it's a different environment, but the sun is still very active in its interaction with those planets as well. So and it'll create different materials on those planets through that interaction. So these reactors are in a way different planets around the sun that convert the energies of the sun. So that central sun doesn't make the materials directly, but through its interaction with the other fields, that's how the materials get created. It's the way I understand it, at least.
It's in a way the rubbing of the fields.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
the friction,
the rubbing, and it kind of smaller plasmas are kind of released from that, and that is, I think, the ones that becomes the material. That's my understanding of it.
That makes sense. It's just a slowing down of the fields.
Could it also be the meaning that the sun, in interaction with these little reactors, create the field of magnesium, especially to absorb so that this magnesium field can go in interaction with the field of the man.
But how do you collect the fields? You have to have some kind of manifestation, because this is not for people to be inside while that central light is on.
I think you have to use the intention to create. So I think what is, I'm not 100% sure about this, but in this grinding that is going on from the fields from the sun and the fields from these other reactors, you kind of get this residue, and this residue, it can manifest in whatever you wish for, in a way. So you are using your intention to get the material you need. That is how I understand it.
So this is very interesting, and I understand it. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, dear.
Rick, it's Dean again here. So looking at the central sun that's within this unit, it's giving as the sun gives it, and it continuously shines. And those fields, once given, are there for you to receive. And so if you have the right intention and feelings, you can receive whatever it is you need as a soul, whether it was in your physical body or on a soul level. There's two ways to manifest from these machines: you in physicality or on a soul level. And when you understand that a star is basically an entity, a soul, and you have a soul in your body, in your brain, so you're the same. It's the same thing. It's the same interaction in micro and macro. It's the same thing. So it's all about the interactions, the thought process, and the intentions to interact with it and receive the materials, which means there will come a point on this planet where we won't need to mine, we won't need to harm Mother Earth to have materials. So we can now manifest materials at will. And that brings a new dimension to humanity, where we can start protecting and looking after Mother Earth and the family, our family, on a level where we receive everything we need. And that can be from shelter, health, traveling, every condition that the human person, human soul needs, requires to sustain life on this planet. So these machines are of a universal level to humanity, to enhance humanity in a way that we've never had before. It's a process where the universal community are giving us the ability to join the universal community in a way that's a filtering process, where it's a gradual filtering process from the roughest and getting down to the finest stuff. It's a bit like the viruses with the masks that we have, that we all know that those masks are supposed to stop the virus, but the virus itself is so minute and it just filters through the mask holes. It's like a football going through a goalpost. The goalpost is much larger, although I should say the ball is much smaller than the actual structure of the mask, so they don't actually help. So going back to giving, that central sun there is giving. It's radiating forever. It's a constant thing. And then when it goes back into the universe, when it does divide itself down, then it's the whole process starts again, and it starts feeding the universe. And the universe feeds back off of itself and comes back into creation again, gives us new life. It's a beautiful process, and you are part of it. Thank you, guys.
I have a comment on the virus, because I remember Mr. Keshe explaining the virus as an energy pack. And if it's an energy pack, how can a mask stop that? Because the fields will travel through the mask. That's how I understood it. So maybe the virus, that they can, if they can see the virus, and it's the manifestation of the virus. So it's in 2 dimensions in a way.
Maria, yes, that the virus latches on to your emotions and your fear factor, and the conditions and environment that you live in. So if you are conditioned to fear the virus, then an energy pack is attracted. It's like a magnet, and you become the magnet, and it's attracted to you. It pulls to you. So when you understand that if you can have a condition, an environment around you and within yourself of peace and love and servitude, and then with the interaction of the GANs technology that Mr. Keshe has delivered to humanity to aid humanity's growth, involvement in everything to do with the universe, then you understand that the virus can't attach to you. There's viruses throughout the universe, as Mrs. Keshe said. There's viruses throughout the universe, far more powerful than this energy pack. This is a great learning curve for humanity to start to interact with viruses, and to understand that with a thought and an intention, and with the functions of your body, you can interact with it in a different way. So you can filter it through your system in a completely different way. The virus will always be there and it'll always be present, but you need to learn to be peaceful with it and peaceful with yourself. So in other words, interact with it in a different way. Be the sun, always shine, and then see how the interaction is with that field of the virus and how it interacts with you on a different level. Instead of feeding the seed negativity and fear, feed it positivity and love. See what difference that makes to you.
There actually are examples of knowledge seekers that more or less did that, and it's a very interesting concept, and they had amazing results with coming to peace with that entity that's called the virus. And we have other examples of the mosquito, and being alone in a room with a mosquito, and how do you deal with that? And different options come up when one is clear-minded enough to think of them and not going crazy from the buzz of the mosquito and just wanting to reach out and touch it. in a violent way.
Yeah, Rick, the interaction with the mosquito. I mean, we've all had it. We've all heard that buzzing in our ear, or and there's always that initial first to try and stop the because you know what's going to happen. But if your first intention is of love and gratitude and giving, so you give your energy to that that mosquito freely, then people have commented and throughout the knowledge seekers workshops that the mosquito still lands on your skin and maybe have an interaction, but you've given the energy that it requires freely. So then it doesn't actually need to take from you. And so people have experienced when they actually go to a point where they actually really intentionally mean to freely give unconditionally, then that being receives the love and the attention and the energy transfer it requires, and just flies away. So the choice is yours. You can learn to build systems and things that control and aggravate situations, or you can build systems like this that give love and give unconditionally. The choice is always about your environment and your understanding as a human being about where we are in our place in this universe. That we are hoping to be, not hoping, we are there now. We've come to a point where we are becoming the souls, the beautiful souls that we were always meant to be, to join the universal community in the most beautiful way. And as Mr. Keshe said, and many people have commented, the party's already started. So these field interactions are already happening all around us. You just need to look around and understand from where you stand. Do you stand on a negative or a positive? The choice is really up to you. And that this foundation and all the beautiful souls here are here to help and to heal and to give. And that's the most important thing you can ever do as a soul. Thanks, Rick.
Well explained, Dean. Very nice. I had an event personally myself yesterday that pushed me beyond my limits with the insect world as I was working on a vehicle, and I was in a difficult position, and just putting the final part on the little pin that holds the pieces I carefully put together for several minutes, and it's like super delicate. And then this hornet comes and starts buzzing around my head, and I'm focusing and concentrating, trying to get this little pin in so all the other parts don't fall apart, and focusing, and it's buzzing around my head, and I'm doing okay, I'm focusing, and then suddenly the buzzing stops, and I know it's landed, and I couldn't handle it anymore. My instincts from when I got hit 22 times after stepping on a hornet's nest when I was a kid kicked in, and I just threw everything and I ran. And so the moral of the story, sometimes you have to know when to give up, I suppose. But if I would have been able to keep cool, maybe nothing would have happened. Maybe my previous conditioning and what I thought might happen was my fear factor that I was undergoing at that time, and not the reality of the situation. It's usually, if you remain calm, a bee that lands on you is not going to just bite you offhand unless you've aggravated them somehow. So even knowing that intellectually, I was under the pressure, and it was, and when that buzzing stopped, I had 1 second, 2 seconds, I couldn't take it anymore. So I admit that my limits were pushed at that time, and I ran. But there are other times when, it's important to not panic. So I learned a lesson but I'm not sure if I can be able to handle it next time or not. But going into it and knowing myself and knowing the situation and that it comes up, and I must learn to relax and just let it go, finish what I'm doing, continue, and so on. So we've had some pretty good discussions in the Keshe Plasma Reactor group about the mosquito question. It comes up from time to time, and it's an interesting thought process to go through. What would you do if you were stuck inside this plasma chamber with a mosquito and nothing else, basically? Maybe a light bulb, and you're there with the only other life form. And what if you're there for eternity with that life form? Would you want to take its life, or would you offer your energy to it? How would you approach it?
Rick, I think that mosquito will become your best friend. If you're in a physical body and you want to enjoy company, or you want to enjoy an interaction with another physical being, that being would be your best friend, would be an eternal friend, would be an interaction that fulfilled your needs, because there would come a point in time where that was the only interaction you had. So it would become very, very important in your understanding of yourself, of your soul, and that mosquito has a soul, and you have a soul. So if you connected the souls together, you would learn to love, and that's what it's all about. It's this deep understanding we have, and this love that we have. When you start emanating that love out, when you become the central sun, and you give out those fields of love and intentions of helping and wanting to heal and help people, just help creatures, help plants, help the environment, help just to give unconditionally, to become a beautiful soul. Everything changes in your world, and that world can be between you and one tiny little being, or it can be between you and the multitude of beings that live within Unicos. We all have to interact with the Unicos. We have no choice. That's a condition that we are in as a soul in physicality, and a soul as a beautiful soul that as you sleep every night, that you release and travels around the universe, having a party and having a wonderful time. Thanks, Rick.
Yeah. It's really the precondition for going to space too, which is actually the purpose of these units, is not necessarily for fixing all the problems of humans on Earth, but this is the space technology that Mr. Keshe wants to have us be able to take to space, and to be able to create what we need at the point of need, and to balance our physicalities, if we happen to be taking our physicality with us on our space excursions, and so on. So now we have a hand up from Ike, and I'd like to hear from Ike here now. If you want to go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. Yeah, you just the mosquito analogy is it's actually on point. That's what I put on the chat right there. I see some folks, interacting with wild animals, and they seem to hypnotize them. But it could be the process, like was described, giving it love, giving from your soul, taking the energy, and then you come out unscratched. So I think it sealed it for me in terms of understanding how the soul works. And it's all about love. And that's what I wanted to say.
I want to say something because of the mosquito. My environment is my experience is that everyone could be your teacher, your master. This could be a child, this could be a poor man living on the street, and it also could be a mosquito. And everyone can learn from everyone. And yes, that's absolutely present by living here in this world. Thank you.
Hello. Hi, this is Stefania from the Italian language representative del Consiglio, the Universal Council. I just want to add something because Dean make me remind also in the motion, and because Maria said to me also to give some connection to the motion training. And I remember very well when Mr. Keshe taught us, but we done it even the public teaching, so it's been repeated over and over. Like the important things are always repeating over and over. And I remember Mr. Keshe saying that your soul, it's like the sun. So here we replicate with this technology that we show in Austria. We see Mr. Keshe replicating how the universe works. And then we listen the teaching of the soul, where they said micro, macro, the example of the stars, and everything happening in the stars happen inside us. So our body works like this machine. So the intention of Mr. Keshe from the soul teaching, especially in the Mojan, was to use this machine or these guns like crutches, like a stepping stone to the ultimate soul teaching. So understand that your body is exactly like this machine. And he used to repeat many times that one person, so you don't need many, one soul, because it's like 80 atomic bombs. So we are even more powerful than the sun. So you are more powerful of the sun. And if we understand that and we learn to also put in practice what we understood, also he used to say many times in the motion program that one person, so you don't need anyone else, only one, can change the whole Earth, universe, galaxy, universe. So you don't need much because of this strength that we have inside us, that inside our soul, that is strongest in the sun, and they emanate from within to out into the. So as I said, if you think about the fields, where they stop, where our aura stops, our interaction. And like we heard today, this interaction goes just not finish with our body, but it goes beyond the Earth, the universe, the galaxy, the universe. So this is just to show us the power that we have inside us, like the guns. But definitely what we can do, we have to remember that is greater, it's much, much greater than this machine can do. Because this machine is still focused on the meta state. So all this is to remind us what we can do, and this is just the beginning. We start with machine, So as this machine gonna go around the world in different places, and you know, Mr. Keshe never do anything for nothing. He's got specific reason behind, and so even to position the machine in different part of the planet, you know, it's got fundamental reason. And the same he said to us when we're in the Mojan, he said it's not a case that you come from Europe and this other person comes from China and this other person comes from South America. So because he knew that between us, because our soul was so strong, we could make a connection and agreed, like we do, like with the dome, we spray the guns every Sunday. And the same with this machine. So again and over and again, we just learning how the universe works and how our body is the most powerful and is not compare of any machine, not even this enhancement unit. So, but thanks to this enhancement unit, thanks to the Keshe technology, we can play like children and understand how the fields works. And this happened to me. For example, you know, as you know, I contract the virus, and I never done much ganses because of the reason of the Mojan, and also before I've naturally always been a bad student with the practical, and so. After the Mojan, Mr. Keshe said to us, don't practice, I would be disappointed if you go back to ganses. But to not go back to ganses, you have to take yourself to a certain level of quality of interacting with fields. Obviously, the simple even fact I had the symptoms of the virus, that means confirmation existence. Then I had to use the guns for the first time after 3 years, and using the guns and see the improvements in the fact that I on my body, and then I start to feel the feelings of interaction. What mean using the guns, and then I try to go into the next step where we are the guns. We have guns inside us. We are made of guns. And so you have to learn how your body works, know about your soul, and how you can start to feel and focus on the fields and interaction of the fields. So play with the guns really helped me out to understand more. So I think the same is with these machines that Mr. Keshe has launched in the 3rd, the 3rd of October in the exhibition in Austria, September, sorry, 3rd of September. Even with those machines, now we learning like the guns, how everything works, how our body works as the sun, and we all eventually be able to materialize everything we need in the point of need without the machine. So that's where I think now more than ever, we need to start to be creative, start to feel, to think out of the box, really start to focus on our vision of have this endless party that we're preparing to. So there is this endless party that it's just around the corner for us. But it's now the time that we have to really work out with our imagination, think out the box, because now we're going to start to create. And so the world will look very different, and we really can make the impossible become possible, the possible easier, and the easier more elegant. So it's going to be a really, really bright future. But now we have to learn again how to have imagination, think out of the box, and be creative, and basically dream again. and make our dream reality. I just wanted to say this. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Stefania.
Marie, I'd just like to say thank you, Stefania. That was wonderful what you've just said there, and it's very true that being creative, you are the creator. Each and every one of us are a creator, and you have a choice what you create. Everything you do in your physical body, in your physical life, you create on a daily basis. You create every environment around you. You create the food that you lovingly give to your children or to your partner or to the animals, to the, you feed the plants. It's a creation, and you are creating constantly everything you do. So you have a choice in what you create. So when you decide to give, and you give unconditionally, and you receive back more, that's the most important bit. The most important bit of the whole of this teaching is to learn to be this creative soul that has an imagination of a child. Be a child again. Children they don't limit themselves with their thoughts. They just release beauty all around them. Everything they touch and smell is like the first time. It's an awakening. It's a beautiful. When you watch a child, it's such a magical thing to see a child interacting with its environment on a level that is pure wonder. That's what humanity needs to do again. Become a child. Let your imagination go. Become that child that everything you interact with is just astonishing to you and your creation. Imagine and create. Really create. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Because now the game is different, because now we open up our mind and we let the new come in, and by expanding our mind, now the game is different. We're gonna have different things we have to face with. So so once we gonna mastering what this machine can do in ourselves, then we're gonna have a new possibility, and this open all of new dimension. So it's like we're gonna have a lot of fun. Yeah. So that this is where really we're gonna the semi-immortality or the immortality become real, because yeah, we open up to a new era. So it's exactly what Mr. Keshe said. What says in the tin, when you buy a product, it's for it. And yeah, so and in the Mojang definitely was emphasized the strength inside us, that we are really, really, yeah, as I said, stronger than the sun. So yeah. So I just want you to have in mind that, and from that point, look the life from this point. Yeah, so I hope that we're gonna learn fast this new step and having fun.
Okay, I'll read a comment from Jefferson in the Q&A, who says, hello, thank you for this teaching. If you allow me to make a question, I'm trying to understand the interaction of plasmatic maghreb fields in all levels, physicality, souls, etc. When we send wishes, rays of true love and pure goodwill intentions, Could it be compared to the initial fundamental plasma energy to and from the universes? Thank you. I think that's a pretty good explanation. I think that can be compared, and as we've been mentioning already. So this goes along with another question that's come up in YouTube from Maria, who says, if a person that operates the unit does not have a good intention, will the unit materialize what he wants? I'm just concerned about that. Thank you.
I think, Rick, if I remember correctly, from the teaching of Mr. Keshe, you cannot, because, and actually, let's take as a personal experience in the Mojang. So when the fields are very high, you can't think bad. So the moment the person, this is from my understanding, so the moment the person enters this machine and has to do with those fields, the fields, even the plasma, you will not get any plasma if you don't need it. So it's exactly what you said, you will get what you need in the point of demand. So that will happen inside the machine. This is what I suppose. And you will be balanced. So in such a way that you will not be possible for you to think any bad things. So this where is all the concept also of the spray the guns into the air, because and to create the dome of peace. That is the same concept. So you spray why you spray the guns? Because you want to increase the fields of the plasma. And as you increase those fields, you bring peace in Earth, because people will not be able to do bad things, thinking bad things or harm. So it's all happening at the same time. So it's more effortless and easy and no side effect that anyone can think of. That's why the Keshe technology is amazing, because it's so simple and they require not effort. Once is understood the true essence, and where we are learning. So before later, I hope we're gonna get to be able to replicate in our body. And for the question of before, if I can say this one, but anyone want to add, is fine. Please do. Yeah, the intention is very important. It's like when you change, when the Japanese man with the water was changing. Changing the molecular structure with intention. Have you ever done the rice experiment? Where you put the 3 jars of rice and you have one bottle, with the same rice you cooked, you divide it in 3 jars, and then you put one you write love, one you write hate, and one you write indifferent, and you will see that you send him love every day to one rice, the other one hate, and the other one indifference. You will see the hated indifference will become moldy, but the one we love will stay intact. So that it's make you understand the intention, that it's powerful, it's the tools. It's the most sophisticated tool you have in the entire universe.
Can I add something, Stefania?
Yeah, please do. Please.
Hi everyone, hi Rick, Jalal here. I think it's very easy to answer this question. If you can change the shine and the brightness of the sun, this guy with bad attention, he can change this unit. So forget about it. He cannot. Whatever is your intention, nothing will harm this unit. because only when you work with love, and I don't think bad attention comes with love and giving. This is a different field strength, a different position. And even if he cannot think in that moment near this enhancement unit, because Mr. Keshe said, think a lot about what you are doing, because the first one, if you want to harm, you will harm yourself, because it will increase your field inside you. So if you want to harm, you will harm first yourself. Thank you.
Part of the agreements that Mr. Keshe sets with people is the signing of the World Peace Treaty as well. So people that interact, operators of the machines, doctors and so on, are aware of the World Peace Treaty, and their signing of that being an important factor in the way they interact and their ethos.
And Rick, that is you sign that with your soul. So when you sign with your soul, you've committed your soul to peace. So it would be very difficult for you to then go and do something that was against your soul.
I was going to say that, but then some people take an objection and will start to say, well, what do you mean sign? I'm not going to sign with my soul, because I don't give my soul away to anybody, this kind of thing. But it's really, that's what it is. You have to agree with your soul to give up the weapons of war and to agree to peace. And it's a stickling factor for some people. They go with some sort of Hollywood version of selling your soul to the devil or something, or whether you're selling it to the devil or God, you're still selling it, and that's not okay. But you're signing with your full presence, your presence of your essence, and that's connected, and that is your soul. That's your connection with the source, and that's what needs to be signed with full commitment. It just means full commitment to that's the way it's going to be. And some people don't like to commit that far as actually committing their soul.
It's because, Rick, when you commit your soul, when you actually really commit to peace, you give unconditionally to another. And that means you cannot harm another. And that means you cannot harm yourself. And humanity has got used to the conditions of taking what is not always rightfully to be taken. But taking nonetheless. But then you have to pay back when you take. And that taking can take the forms in many ways. It can be your thoughts and intentions that will manifest in a disease, or it could be that you interact with your environment and something interacts with you, the fields interact with you to stop you doing the interactions that you're doing. And this can be from yourself, but it can also be within the interactions of your family, and then the family on, because the real family is all of us. Humanity is one. We are one big family. And then that extends out to the unicos, all the same family. So when you harm yourself or somebody else, you're harming the whole family, because we are all one. We're all one with the creator. It's all from the creation. So it's you're just harming yourself. So you need to learn to interact with your environment and everything that you interact with in a peaceful manner. And then your whole environment will change. You will not be consumed by having to have certain matter state, how can I say, things that really you think you need. We all believe that we need many, many things, but in reality, what you actually really need is very, very small. It's just your family and love. And it really does come down to that. That's all it really is. Thanks, Rick.
Okay, do we have any of our attendees that have any further questions? You can put your virtual hands up and I can recognize you to speak. Universal Council members, anything more to say on that topic?
This is Marie. I think our presentation for today is completed as for Universal Council.
Okay, are there any further questions from anybody I see on the live stream? It looks clear, and YouTube, I think we've answered the questions. There was a request for Portuguese translation, but I don't think we can provide that necessarily, but there is the Portuguese live teachings that do occur on, usually based on the knowledge seekers workshops that people can attend. What else do we have? I think we're clear. Any more questions? Any more answers? Well, perhaps we can end today's show with the thank you from the Universal Council and the words, I give freely from my soul to all souls in existence. Take what you need. I am present. Universal Council. Okay, many thanks for today's program brought to us by the Universal Council, and explored some interesting things and had a lovely presentation, I think. Okay, let me get my screen back up and second while I find it. There we go. Okay, well, many thanks to everyone for presenting today and for the questions and participation in today's 134th One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace for Tuesday, September 8th, 2020. And I'll remind people there is the Keshe Plasma Reactor group that starts at 7 a.m. Central European Time on Wednesday, September 9th. And people are welcome to bring your replications, experiments, concepts, ideas, questions, and your presence to the group. Would be appreciated. And any technical questions for Mr. Keshe can be presented in the Knowledge Seekers Workshop coming up at Thursday at 9 a.m. Central European Time. And we use the same Zoom number and live stream connections for those meetings. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you, everyone. And see you next time around.